again, I want to Ana Martina, Membership Director with the U.S. Federation of Worker Cooperatives. I've been working here for 3 years, and my role here at the Federation is mostly to be supporting our members, connecting them to resources, connecting them to technical assistance, doing referrals whenever it's needed. And I work really closely with Kate Barud. Kate joined us this year. And we are the membership department together. So the two of us, the main people, they're always in connection, responding emails, and yeah, just being on the phone anytime when people is reaching out to us. So today we wanted to do this brief orientation to new members and also existing members that just need a little bit of a refresher about their benefits as members of the Federation. So we are going to be going a little bit over some of the members' rights and responsibilities. But before we start going into that, I just want to say something really briefly about the Federation. I see I'm just like trying to see how many people we have. We have four people. Okay, so I don't think that I know everybody here, so we're gonna move in a second to just try to do something. But you know, so for some of you, you might be familiar with the work of the Federation. Some of you might be new to the work that we do. The Federation of Worker Cooperatives is the only national grassroots membership organization for worker cooperatives in the U.S. Our mission is to build a thriving cooperative movement of stable, empowering jobs for worker ownership. And we do this in different ways, as I was mentioning. We share resources, we provide training. We're also an organization that facilitates connection about the different members and also other folks that are part of the ecosystem. And we provide also direct benefits. We started a couple years ago health-related benefits. So we're just like trying to serve in different ways worker owners and members of democratic workplaces and in general, you know, like our whole membership. So we work in collaboration with the Democracy at Work Institute. So the Federation, if you can think in a way, you know, we do provide direct services, and the Democracy at Work Institute, our sister organization, they do a lot more of the research and development of resources to advance the worker cooperatives in the state. And we collaborate on a lot of projects, and also we share some board members just to make sure that the representation and mission and values of both organizations are always in alignment. So today, I'm going to pass on to the next page. Today, we are going to be getting to know each other a little bit and see who is in the room. We are going to be talking about who is in our membership. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the member policies, rights, and responsibilities. We're also going to be talking about our annual member meeting, when do we celebrate our board elections. And we're going to be sharing the different ways and how you all can connect to the larger cooperative movement, so the different spaces that we organize and facilitate, the conferences, the councils. And then we're going to be talking about the more direct benefits, as I was mentioning, the health-related benefits and other kind of coverage programs that we are incorporating this year.
Awesome. Can everybody hear me okay? Cool. Hi, everyone. Thanks for spending an hour of your afternoon with us today. We're super psyched to have you and to see some faces and see some folks on the line in the room that are newer to the Federation. So we're going to just open it up because we want to hear from everyone know where everyone's coming from and what you'd like to get out of this brief webinar that we have together today. So we're going to open it up and try and give everyone a chance that's on the line today to say, to answer a few questions. So we're going to do a little round. If you could go ahead and say a little bit about who you are, your name, workplace, and what the two questions we have for you are, what do you know about the USWC? So naming one thing that you already know about the Federation, and then also what's something you'd like to know from this call today? And that's going to be our first round of questions there. So anybody can start, and we have about, it looks like right now we have about 5 people on the line, that aren't Federation staff, so anybody can start us off and then pass it on to the next voice. And if you are on a phone, you can unmute by hitting Mo.
There is an unmute button, so if you roll over your, actually, if you go to the bottom left hand of your screen, you'll see a little mute button that it gets green as you're talking. So just unclick that.
And then if you're on your phone?
Oh, I'm sorry, hit *6.
Cool. And if anybody has issues, you can also send us something over the chat. So can someone start us off?
Hi, I'm Mickey with C4 Tech and Design in New Orleans, and I really don't know anything about the USFWC, and be interested to learn more.
Welcome, Mickey. Thanks so much for making this. Can you talk to someone, Mickey, if you see the names of folks on the call?
Can I do what now?
Oh, Rafiq? Oh, let's go with Rafiq. Sorry.
I was taking it. Sorry. My name is Rafiq. I also work for C4 Tech and Design. I know that the United States Federation of Worker Co-ops is an organization of several worker co-ops, just kind of, I think, networking and supporting each other with information and things they've learned. I think I would like to know, I guess I just kind of want to have more of an idea of the breadth of knowledge that the USFWC has really kind of gained, and if there's any way for me to ideally access that knowledge, not only in the meetings, but just kind of off work or while I'm at work, you know, things like that. That's basically what I want to, ideally would like to learn from here.
Thanks, Rafiq. Thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm Theo Ferguson from California, and I'm really excited to learn more and more about the USSIF because, or US Federation of Worker Co-ops, because my company has a relationship with a county in Southern California called Riverside County, and we're trying to develop local food resilient systems. And it's coming along, and it'll all be pretty much cooperatively run. And so anything we can learn, we hope to put to good use.
Thank you, Thea.
Hi there. I think we have Momoka on the line. I think you just joined us. If you have audio capabilities, would you like to introduce yourself? Let us know what workplace you're coming from. Tell us something you know about the USFWC and something you'd like to learn today during the call. I think we may have a frozen human.
Yeah, Momoka noted in the chat that they said hi.
Hi there. Okay. Well, let's keep it moving. Is there anybody else on the line? Or is that it for today?
So,
okay. So Momoka's from Fashion That Works Cooperative. And Momoka, feel free to share with us over the chat if there's something you'd like to hear more about specifically today around the Federation. And welcome to the call. I think that's who we have on the line for now. Shall we keep going?
Yeah.
Since it seems like folks want a one-on-one.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, and this is what we'll say. We have a ton of information, as you all can imagine, about the work that we're doing. So I think there's definitely space, for if you'd like to ask a question. You can either chat the question or you can unmute and interject. And we'll try and field as many of the questions that you all have as possible. We do want this to be an interactive space, but it is a little bit presentation heavy, and it seems like that's okay since it seems like folks want the general overview. But yeah, and if there's something that sort of we feel like there might not be space to answer fully on this call, we'll make sure to say that, and we'll make sure to follow up with you or find the space to have a longer conversation about it later. But please do jump in is the point of all that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's start with, orienting people a little bit about, the folks that we represent and then the work that we do. So the U.S. Federation of Worker Cooperatives was created in 2004 by worker owners. They were meeting in two conferences, one in the West, one in the East. And in 2004, in one of the convenings, they decided that they would like to have an organization that was representing them. There was gathering resources to support them, and there was also having the ability to create curriculum to support worker cooperatives, to develop training, and to offer also in general just information and technical assistance to organizations that are interested in starting new worker cooperatives. So they created the Federation of Worker Co-ops, and it was started with one staff person. And through the years, we've been growing. In the last 3 years, I will have to say that we've been really seeing like a growth in staff and capacity. And yeah, I mean, when I started in the Federation in 2016, it was just Esteban Kelly, who was transitioning from being a co-ED to become the ED. And I was hired as a membership director. Then, we start growing in the staff. Mo joined us as a communications director. And then in the last year, I think that's when we hire a lot more folks besides our operations manager. So that's a little bit about like the history. So the Federation was created to serve worker cooperatives and democratic workplaces. What you're seeing on your screen, if you are connected, I think everybody's connected through a computer. But what you're seeing on your screen right now is a map of what we estimate is the whole ecosystem in the United States. So we calculate there are close to 500 and more worker cooperatives and democratic workplaces. And what you're seeing a little bit also, there's like some color key indicators there. The red indicates the number of cooperatives that they are in that specific region. So for instance, if you see in New York, there's 55, and right now probably the number is going up. And that's just to the different developments that have been happening there and the resources that have been happening there, the trainings and cooperative development. And then you can see the blue indicator, like more like turquoise. That is the work of, those are like recent changes that have been happening in the last 5 years. And then the WTO stands for workers to owners. That's where DAWI has been doing work around conversions. So we put together these resources and trying to just provide a little bit more information about the sector of worker cooperatives in the state. We put together a directory and a yearly state of the sector report. There we collect from a survey that we conduct every year, the annual economic census, and we ask our members to participate. It's like one of your responsibilities to participate in that census. And that really helps us to inform what's happening, right? It's like tools that we put together to do policy and advocacy and to understand how to serve the membership better and where are the areas where the ecosystem is going. So the membership classes, or membership, we have worker cooperatives, we have democratic workplaces, federation partners, cooperative developers, startups, conversions, and associates. That's the whole membership. And there are some differences on the I mean, the benefits are the same for everybody, but the differences are a little bit more on the representation. So the core of our representation through participation in our elections is for worker cooperatives, democratic workplaces, federation partners, cooperative developers. And the membership, the board choose these four primarily member classes, because that's the core of the members that we are serving, right? Like startups and conversions. So we see a lot of the startups. They are still forming. They are still not in operations, and sometimes they will start meeting, and then within a year, they're sometimes dissolving. So after like 2-3 years, when those startups are definitely in operations, incorporated, that's when we consider that those are formally becoming worker cooperatives. Then the participation in the sector is definitely representative of the economy that we're trying to build together. The conversions also are in this area where they are transitioning. Sometimes they are still operating as traditional businesses, and they are moving towards the worker cooperative model. So that's why it will be, you know, if we were including conversions like traditional businesses to participating in the board, in the elections, that might be not necessarily representative of who formed the federation and who we're trying to serve. And associates are organizations. They're not necessarily worker cooperatives. They're not really doing development. They're mostly allies and organizations that support the movement, for which we are very, very thankful, because their contribution is really significant to our work. But we also try to prioritize, once again, the worker orders and workers that form the federation. Yeah, and if people have questions, you should feel free to like stop me or like, you know, I think the microphones are open.
Yeah, let's stop there for a minute. Just in seeing what we've offered you so far, did anybody have any general questions about the member groups or anything like that before we get into some of the meat? You can unmute yourself in the bottom left of your screen where it says unmute.
Yeah, I have one question, and that is, I'm Healing Living Systems at this time is an associate member, but we're, as I said, we're developing a body of cooperative owners in food and farming in Riverside. And I'm wondering, as an associate member, is it possible to ask the USSI Federation for assistance in proposals? In other words, I have a proposal a developed proposal, and I'd like to make it available to whomever it is that might be interested in participating in funding us.
So it is for the formation of the business that you are trying to do, or I'm like trying to understand if it's like technical assistance that you might be requesting.
No, I don't have technical assistance needed. What we're looking for is we have this wonderful cooperative activity that will basically go from producers through distributors through artisan food people, but we need some funding, and we're having a hard time finding it.
Oh, financing, yes. We can connect you, and we can provide like some like general information about the the organizations, the funds that exist in the state, and put you in contact with them. And we're going to go a little bit like deeper into that when we are going over the organizations and benefits. So we don't provide funding directly, but we are able to facilitate relationships and put you in contact with the financial institutions that support worker cooperatives in the state.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions before we move on?
Okay. Okay, so continuing on the federation. So as I was starting to go into the leadership of the federation and like the representation, what you're seeing on your screen right now is the board of the federation. The board of the federation gets elected by the membership. As I was mentioning, the members, worker co-ops, democratic workplaces, federation partners, cooperative developers can participate in our elections, and at any time, startups or conversions can reclassify as any of these other member types and become eligible to vote. We expect that like within 3 years, a startup or conversion should be reclassifying as a worker co-op or democratic workplace, or continue their membership as an associate. And this is once again, those 3 years we have the expectation that like folks through technical assistance will be able to actually become businesses that are in operation. So once again, the board gets elected by our membership. We put together an open call for nominations 3 months before the elections. The elections happen during the annual member meeting, and we'll go into that in a second. But what you're seeing right now on the screen is the board right now. We have, if you go to the next one, yes. We have 9 board seats. 5 of those are at-large members, and 4 are the regional representatives. 1 for the North, 1 for the Eastern region, 1 for the South, and 1 for the Western region. This year we celebrated the at-large elections, and we opened the elections for a whole month online. People can participate. You received your codes. We try to make it available for people. If people have questions, they can always reach out to us. Next year we're going to be celebrating the regional elections, so we're going to be we're probably going to be starting calling for nominations around, well, depending when the national conference is going to be happening, but like around May probably will be the time. But we always communicate about these through the member update via email. Next one. So I was starting to mention we celebrate an annual meeting. This happens in our national conference or regional conferences. This year we celebrate the annual member meeting at the ECWD just last month in Baltimore. And in the annual member meeting, it's expected that as many members as possible can attend in person. And if you can't attend in person, we try to stream the meeting, and we've been streaming it every year. I think this year we were not able to do it, but we're for sure gonna try to figure that out for this coming meeting in 2020. We open also the proposal for members to submit whatever is the topic that you wanted to be discussing at the members meeting, and we just give the update on finances, the membership numbers, the programs that we've been running. It's like a meeting where we try to report as a staff to the membership what's happening. We celebrate elections, and this year we have a space for discussion for members. Also, as we are working on different programs, we're also trying to collect feedback and guidance just on how we're doing the work. And I should just mention, because like that was in the previous slide, right now we have in the membership of organizations more than 200 organizations. In the last couple of years, we have almost double in numbers in the membership. And also some of these members, as I was mentioning before, are Federation partners, which some of them already have their own membership. We represent all the members of Federation partners as well. And our connection is through the Federation partners in some cases. Members also, Federation partners also have the option to join directly to the Federation to access benefits that have a specific cost, like for example, the health-related benefits.
Yeah, so before we're going to move into, we want to make sure you all had an understanding of our board structure and how that works, and it's an exciting way to get involved with the Federation as members. But before, we're going to get into the juicy member benefits bit now, but just checking to see if there's any questions or comments or thoughts about what we've just shared with you all about the board and the elections and the annual member meeting. Okay, so it seems like we can...
Just one comment. 3 of us went to the Western Worker Co-op meeting in San Francisco this last year, and it was really, really, really well done. We really learned a lot, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Always nice to hear that feedback.
Okay, so let's go into member rights and responsibilities. So all members should receive a member package orientation. We send them twice per year. We try to do a big mailing where we send materials. That's why it's also important to have the information up to date. Because we send, like usually like member updates, like whatever materials that we're printing. As I was mentioning, we run the annual census, and we put together this state of the sector report. We send those materials. We send info materials. We send also, we're about to send the directory that we print also this year, and just important to have like the information up to date. Because like sometimes we get some bounce mail, and we always just like try to make sure that you are receiving the information. And for whoever who is the primary contact, we try to also just like suggest like recommend that they share the information that we are sending with the rest of the membership. And if there is, anybody that is not receiving the information via electronically, they want to be added, you should just like let us know.
Yeah, like thanks Mickey and Rafiq for being on the call from C4. Like it's nice when there's like a rotation of members interacting with this information so that you all kind of like can hold ownership of it. So yeah, send along any new co-op members too to these future webinars that we do so they can get familiar with that. With what there is to offer.
Right. So the members' rights, you all have access to the benefits of the Federation. As I was mentioning, we have an online and printed directory. That's actually gonna like try to grab one of those, but we send this one on the mail, and you also should be receiving communications from us via email. We send e-news every month. Sometimes we send them more than twice per month, depending on the work and reporting that's happening. Sometimes we have a lot of programs, webinars, and we want to make sure that you're receiving that information and opportunities for engagement. You all can participate in the member councils and peer networks that we are going to be explaining in a second. You can always reach out and send ideas for new programs, for member benefits, for campaigns, or coalitions. And you can do this by emailing to membership@usworker.coop You can always send an agenda item or any other discussion topic for our annual member meeting. As I was mentioning, we send an email requesting the participation from the membership at least a month before the member meeting. And for the board of directors, as I was saying, the members, they are eligible to participate in the elections. You can also nominate somebody from your organization, and you can also request the board meeting notes. Maybe let's just ask if people have questions there about your rights.
So just one fast question. Healing Living Systems is an associate member, but we haven't received any of that, and I would like very much to have it. So if there's a way that we could be put on the list, that would be great.
Yeah, Theo, if you want to just, I mean, I do have your email, but if there's anything that for some reason is not going there, maybe we should just check, because sometimes there are like some like bounce emails, as I was saying, but like we should just like double check. So we will make a note for checking with Healing Systems and see why you're not receiving the communication.
Any other questions from other folks? Cool.
So member responsibilities. As I was saying, like there is a window for reclassification for startups and conversions. And that window is during the renewal period. So we send an email requesting the financial information in order to calculate the member dues. And we also send an email with our calendar so that you can request a call with us so that we can go over the reclassification to either become a worker cooperative member or you know, if there is a need to move to another membership class. We send the invoice if you are joining. We request that invoice, that the dues get covered within 30 days. And also for renewals, we start requesting financial information in March. And around April, we start invoicing people. So your membership goes from June 1st all the way to May 31st. And we start the membership renewal period in the first quarter of the year, just in order to, you know, give it time to request the financial information, calculate dues, and do the invoicing, and then do the follow-up. But your membership, the period of like lapses in May 31st. So you need to do the renewal before that. We request that you appoint a member of your workplace to be the point contact person for the federation. And that person is the person that we usually send the notifications, updates. Sometimes it's the same person for the billing, but in case of being a different person, like we just like request you for you to keep us up to date, because sometimes you know, like the shops are large and they might be not the same person, or sometimes people transition also from organizations, and there's been cases where we like have completely lost contact with the workplace because the main point person changes. And it's also important that we know, you know, that these communications about opportunities for the running to the board or participating in elections that get distributed among the workplace. We also ask you to update your profile with your business information, because we publish that information on our website and then also in the printed directory. We ask you also to update the financial information in order to calculate dues, to participate in an annual economic census in order to put together the report that I was sharing before, to participate in the annual member meeting also, whether it's in person or virtually, or send a representative, and also to participate in the board elections. So how we organize the membership. So we have we collaborate with other regional networks in order to provide technical assistance and to conduct programs. In some cases, we support these organizations with programming or with admin. And in this page, you're just looking at some of the partnerships that we have with local networks. We highly recommend that you get connected with the regional network in your area if there is one. And if you have questions, about this, feel free to email us. The member council. So I was starting to share. We have different spaces where we facilitate conversations. These are the 4 different councils right now in the Federation. The Union Co-op Council is mostly formed by members of the Federation. They are members of cooperatives that have unionized or like unions. They are exploring participation within a worker cooperative movement. The Movimiento de Inmigrantes en Cooperativas has been mostly in a space for Spanish speakers in worker cooperatives, and it's been a point for getting to know each other, exchanging experiences, and then also to access training in Spanish. The policy and advocacy is mostly where we are trying to do the work with members to put together proposals or legislations, or just like to try to support the efforts of different members in different areas to do lobby work, to try to encourage support for the development of worker cooperatives or support for existing worker cooperatives. The Regional Economic Justice Council has been meeting around trying to connect the worker cooperative movement with other social justice movements. We put together 2 webinars this year where we were inviting different organizations that were trying to learn more about the model, and then with some organizations in specific being incubating worker cooperatives in order to support the mission and vision.
So I think that it's definitely important to note that the member councils and the peer networks are 2 really amazing spaces for folks to get connected in the Federation. And I think it's one of the coolest benefits of the Federation, because all of us are so busy, not only trying to keep our businesses afloat and growing, but also managing the democratic aspects of our business. And so having the Federation available to facilitate spaces for you all to connect on the national level with folks that share your work, it's been a really useful resource for our members. So it kind of takes the coordinating part out of the work for you, so that when you do get together, there's like a platform ready for you all to meet and connect without having to figure out all the logistical pieces. And so the member councils are one of the established areas where folks can connect on issue-based co-op issues. The peer networks are spaces for worker co-ops to get together and talk about industry-specific issues or about issue-specific issues. So right now, the peer networks that exist, that you all are welcome to find out more about with us as members, is the Convergence peer network, which is a space specifically to discuss and work out and build around issues affecting worker co-ops that are at some stage of the conversion process, meaning that they're traditional businesses who are converting into a worker co-op model. So that's a very specific issue area, and they need to talk about solutions for conversions. And then we also have the Worker Co-op Farm Peer Network, which is for worker co-ops at our farms to talk specifically around industry-based issues. The Tech Worker Co-op is a similarly framed peer network that focuses around issues that affect the tech worker co-op community. And then we have a Keystone peer network, which is for the older and bigger worker co-ops that are at a different phase in their cooperative development, and so wanted a space specifically to address the issues affecting the sort of larger scale worker co-ops that have been around for longer than some of our newer worker co-ops. And so this is the beginning of a space that we hope to see grow, and we've realized just especially the value in peer networks that focus specifically on industry. And so we have a catering and food business peer network space that's started emerging, and talk of creating ones for other worker co-ops too. And it's kind of the thing, like if you're a member and you think there's a space that you would be excited to create and build with us in a peer network, we have the platforms and the tools to do that and can support that to happen for you. Mm-hmm. So before we move into talking a little bit more about some of the other things that we connect with our members about, I want to see if there's any questions about the member councils and the peer network. Folks who haven't spoken especially, I invite you to jump in if you have thoughts or questions about it. Make sure to unmute yourself.
Hi, this is Seth Wilson. We're in the process of trying to form a landscaping worker cooperative, and we think there are opportunities for expanding that sector in Southern California.
Hi, Seth. Yeah, I mean, what Kay was just like sharing, this coming year in January, we're going to be having the first meeting for a new peer network that we are starting to facilitate. That we're now has a little bit of a mix of like construction, landscaping, and solar. At some point, we have to see whether it makes sense to keep the solar folks in that peer network or if they need to be in a different space. But there is like so much overlap into the work that they're doing that for now, you know, the first meeting that they have was actually at ECWD, and in general, we're just coming together to actually start refining how that peer network will look like. So we for sure can keep you up to date on that.
Yeah, and we can, if you send us an email at membership@usworker.coop, we can add you to any of these peer network lists, depending on the peer network. And we can also, if folks have specific questions around startups, we do offer a free startup webinar every month for folks that are just getting their businesses off the ground, and have a ton of resources for startup co-ops. So email us after this webinar and we can get those resources to you.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we keep moving? Cool.
Okay, so let's go into the spaces where we convene folks and the piece about education too. So we celebrate, as I was mentioning, some of these convenings. The national conference that we're going to be celebrating this coming year, and it's going to be happening here in Philadelphia.
Woo!
So
that's where we are.
Yeah, it will be great to see you here. We don't know the exact dates yet, but we are we're talking about the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. So we'll keep you posted as well. And we expect to have like a similar program that we've been having in previous years, where it's an opportunity for new members of cooperatives to learn skills, to get oriented about what is a worker cooperative, you know, to grow your skills, to get to know other folks there in your similar industries, people that have similar experiences or challenges. So it is a great place for people to really get to know the worker cooperative movement. Like, it's very difficult sometimes to really get to know how to connect with the movement just through webinars or, you know, calls. The conference really have a very special space for allowing those kind of connections that just can't happen in person. And yeah, we're very, very excited to be hosting the conference here in Philly. We're very excited, and this year we put together 3 convenings, actually 2 in the West Coast, as Theo was mentioning. One was in the Bay Area, another one was in Washington State, and last year we celebrated the ECWD in Baltimore. And in total, these 3 convenings, we have close to 400 attendees, which was, you know, a large number, and that's our goal, right? To try to serve the community, to try to serve our members and bring training opportunities and the spaces for networking to where you are.
Yeah, and you guys get huge discounts as members to go to those conference spaces. And I'm gonna be really corny for a second. Raise your hand if you're a very busy person Who does a lot for your worker co-op? No one's raising their hand. Or maybe there's a delay. Yeah, Rafiq's a busy person. The point of me saying that is that I used to be a worker owner of a co-op, kind of whole language co-op in New York, and before my work here at the Federation, and we just found it so hard to like take the time out of our day-to-day co-op operations to really do the like development work to strengthen our co-op. And so the conference spaces have been a really amazing resource for that, to be able to like step away from your work and set aside time to step away from the day-to-day, or like put a pause on the day-to-day work of your worker co-op so that you can build the skills to keep it going long-term. So I really encourage you guys to take advantage of that opportunity, because it's really special to be able to take that time with like your co-worker owners to like build. And I was just going to say, actually, I guess we have to move on because it's getting kind of late. But yeah, come to the conferences and take advantage of those discounts.
Yeah, and another thing I was going to say really quickly, the cooperative community is really friendly, is really open. People really embrace the values of a cooperative. In the way that, people will share resources. The majority of the trainings that we put together, they're informed by the best practices of our members. And, you can really feel and experience that in the conference. So the other benefit that we wanted to mention here is we offer technical assistance through Co-op Clinic. As a member of the Federation, every member has the right to reach out, and we offer 1 hour of free technical assistance. This Co-op Clinic is a fee-for-service program. After that hour, as a member, you get a discounted fee for technical assistance. We offer a lot of online workshops, convenience, as we were mentioning, webinars, and different other trainings. We have also an online training, a series of videos that you as a member have the right to access. So if you haven't been able to see that, especially for folks that are new in their workplace, please reach out. I'm more than happy to share the link and the code so that you can access these trainings. And if anything, you can also ask your point person for your workplace with the Federation to share that, and if for some reason they don't have the information, I'm more than happy to share it. We also do referrals to folks that offer technical assistance. They're qualified, they understand the cooperative model, so we can connect you with accountants, with attorneys, if you need so.
There are a lot of other programs and classes that you all can get discounts on for building your democratic management skills through your membership. Contact me about it. And yeah, I want to pass this off to Mo, and because we still have to go through health and public policy stuff. So I just want to pass it off to Mo. On policy and advocacy, just a quick bit about that.
Sure. So one of the things that's really exciting about the worker co-op movement right now is that there's a lot of policy work happening at the federal, state, and at the local levels. So what we do is at the staff level, we kind of drive a lot of the work at the federal level, and then we check in with the members through that policy and advocacy council call. There's actually 2 every month starting in 2020 because it's just so much work to be done. So we consult with members to understand priorities, and then for the state and local work, we work with our regional partners to push forward legislation, to get advice, to figure out how do you formulate and ask for your local government. So we do a ton of work. We also actually just hosted our first Hike the Hill Day in Washington, D.C., alongside the Eastern Conference for Workplace Democracy. So we do a lot, and we're always looking at ways to make it easy for worker owners to advocate for their businesses. So right now it's been largely a lot of work around we're actually furthering worker co-ops, but we're increasingly looking at industry-specific advocacy, and we follow the lead of members like all of you. So that's you can always email me at mo@usworker.coop or policy@usworker.coop. Both of those will get to me if you want to learn more about that. And then I think the next one's the health benefits.
No.
Nope.
Just really quickly, I just wanted to tell people, before we go actually into the health-related benefits, we have a Slack channel. We use Slack as the platform for communication. So if you are familiar with the Slack platform, you can join the channel, and that's where you can join different channels to get in touch with each other as well. I just want to mention that really quickly before we move into it, because, yeah. So you can talk about the health-related enrollment period. So.
Sure. So, and we can also go back to talk a little bit more about some of the other benefits. There's so much to talk about that it's hard to pack into an hour. So, for health and really at a large level, it's like insurance benefits. We have worked with a local broker here in Philly to make available insurance, all different kinds of insurance for our members. So through the Federation, you can have access to dental, vision, general health insurance in certain states. Basically, what we've been doing is on a state-by-state basis, working with our broker to find good rates in each state. So, we can, there's a set of states where we can make that happen. And in those that we can't, our broker is happy to help set up HRAs so that you can actually set up ways to actually give, like stipends to your workers in order to help cover and offset medical costs. So if you go to usworker.com/health, you will be able to find all of the information. I actually just updated a lot of information, so it's the very latest on all of that. And we're really excited to be able to offer disability and accident insurance this year. We started offering all of these in 2017. So it's really exciting to be able to have expanded the program so much. Right now we're serving almost 500 members and their dependents throughout the network.
Thank you, Mo. We want to make a pause there and see if people have questions, because we just went through a lot, and yeah, we just want to allow some time for questions. Especially like folks that are like new faces. They're just like joining your workplace, and just like new to worker cooperatives in general. You might have questions.
Or what would be, I think, also really helpful for us to hear at this point, since you all have gotten like a little bit of an overview, would be just like where is your co-op or your project excited to plug in, or where do you think you'll be able to like engage most with the Federation? And what are you excited to learn more about? If anybody would like to share that, because we're the member coordinators, so like and the health benefits coordinator, so like it'd be awesome. Like we're getting to know you, and this is really exciting. So if there's things that really stood out to you or that you'd like to learn more about, maybe off this call, we'd love to hear that.
And also, I feel like I just don't know if everybody here are members of the workplace. If like you're like a worker owner, a new member, or you just joined, you've been there for a while. But anyway, just please share your thoughts, your questions.
I'll jump in. Seth Wilson, I, along with Theo Ferguson at Healing Living Systems, we're working on trying to start a series of worker-owned cooperatives in Southern California, in Riverside and San Bernardino counties. And the first one, like I said, is focused around landscaping, but really with an emphasis on landscape contracting for edible landscapes and food system development. And one unique thing about Riverside, San Bernardino, the Inland Empire, is we have a very large population of Latino, Hispanic, and undocumented individuals. And so we're also seeing a potential pathway through the cooperatives of helping to ensure opportunities for those individuals in our communities.
Thanks for sharing, Seth. We do have a lot of, training materials, as I was mentioning. In our curriculum that we have also materials in English and Spanish also. And we're more than happy to share some of those resources. Is there any other questions?
Yeah, anything from C4, we heard from Healing Living Systems, anything from C4 or I think Silky and Smoker are not calling anymore, but anything from C4 before we close out? Not to put you on the spot, but just wanted to open up the space just in case. Cool.
One thing I will say is next year, as I was mentioning, we are doing the regional elections. I know that you have Anna on the board right now from C4 Tech, but just to put it in your radar, we're going to be opening nominations. So I don't know what is the discussion in the workplace, but to put it in your radar. And the last thing that we're just going to share, once again, do you want to actually just to talk real briefly about this and the renewal?
Just a reminder, because you all will be getting emails from yours truly, Kate. So I just want to make sure this was on your radar. We work on it's a year-long membership. It started June 1st. It ends May 31st of 2020. So you'll be hearing from us in early 2020, like in the first quarter, just to start collecting the information to be able to renew your membership. So keep in touch, and if you change out your point of contact, make sure to keep us in the loop about that. And my email address is kate@usworker.coop, so hard to forget. Email me anytime. And if you guys have folks about specific questions about the resources you've heard about on this call, Rafik, I know you spoke specifically about wanting more to know what knowledge we have, what resources we have in terms of just you use the word knowledge. So if you'd like more specific resources, we'd love to connect you all to that stuff. So we're always an email away, and that's why we grew our capacity, because we really want to be there to support the membership with the templates and the information and the curriculum and the resources that you all need to be able to help your businesses to flourish. So be in touch. That's what we're here for.
Thank you. And so just a couple announcements before we wrap up. As I was mentioning, if at any point your workplace has questions or wants to reach out to the co-op clinic for, request and technical assistance, or you just have any question, right, about your workplace, that you're, trying to change the policy, you're trying to learn, you're curious about how the workplaces are, doing their operations, or how they're structured, how do they deal with conflict, just feel free to reach out to the co-op clinic. You can also email us at membership@usworker.coop. We're more than happy to connect you with resources or connect you directly with other workplaces that might have a similar need or experience that can support you. In upcoming events, December 2nd, we're going to be having the co-op hour. There's going to be the focus on the worker co-op funds. On December 6th, we have our worker co-op startup webinar, as Kate was mentioning. We facilitate this webinar every month. In January, it's going to be in Spanish. I think that we have the dates, but I don't have them here. But if you have any, did you know any folks that there are Spanish speakers, invite them. We can send that over email as a follow-up. And yeah, you know, if you know anybody that also you think that might be interested in learning more about the work of the Federation, you know, you can always send them to the website, usworker.coop. You can go to the library resource of institute.coop and that website. We share resources, as I was saying, we work together. And yeah, don't forget the enrollment for the insurance benefit program ends in December 11. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and feel free to reach out with any questions. We're going to be sending the recording over email, and then we're going to be sending an email with follow-up resources for you as well.
So just one fast question. When is the farm co-op? December, was that December 6th?
December 2nd.
Oh, 2nd. Oh, Tuesday. Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, you can sign up for that online. It's going to be really, really awesome. There's 3 different worker co-op farm owners from 3 different farms around the country just presenting on their businesses. It's going to be cool.
It's actually Monday, just to make sure that everybody comes on the right
Oh,
day.
right.
I'm dropping in a link to register for it right now.
Thanks, Mo. Cool.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And please keep us updated also on what's happening in your workplace. Feel free to send an email, a membership at USWorker.coop also, so that we can put it also in the e-news.
Cool.
Have a good night, folks.
Bye.